Okay, let me go on. Now going back to over here. No. Okay, so now they say this, right? Okay, let me go on. So now this is Genesis 18, 15 and 18. I already read that here, but I'm gonna get to that here later actually. Let me see here, this one. Yeah, so it's the same word. This one, Hebrew 51:04, is the same word that they use also for Euphrates. So this is not really an indicator, but yeah. So now comes the Asmon. Numbers 34 and 4. I already read this. Your border shall be past Asmon. And it says here, verse 5. And the border shall fetch a compass from Asmon unto the river of Egypt. And the goings out of it shall be at the sea. So a compass, which is roundabout, shall fetch a compass, which is here. Here, Asmon is here, or I can get another thing here. So Asmon is here. So basically a compass of this. In this whole region over here, alongside Kadesh Barnea. Right? So you could say here. Which is, you know, this. Which is here. I don't know what this is, the arrow. But anyway. I think that is talking about the major branch of the pathway of that water thing. Instead of the branches. Okay, so let me see. Joshua 15 and 4. From thence it passed toward Asmon, and went out unto the river of Egypt, and the goings out of that coast were at the sea. This shall be your south coast, which is this one, the Mediterranean. That's the sea, right? And in the other translation, it goes also into the word Mediterranean. But this is the Wadi al-Arish, Arish or something. But this is the Red Sea. This is the Red Sea Gulf of Suez, and this is the Red Sea Gulf of Aqaba. These dotted lines here, or not dotted, I mean dotted stripe things, is the modern day border between Egypt and Israel. But back in the days, it was here. This watery thing over here. Okay, so now going to, let me see, Elath. So it says here, Deuteronomy 2 and 8. And when he passed by from our and when we passed by from our brethren, the children of Esau, this is when we came out of the land of Egypt, which dwelled in Seir, through the way of the plain from Elath and from Ezion-Geber, we turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab. And that is then therefore, did I click this one here? No. Okay. I think I put it here. No. I'll just do this then. Oh yeah, here. This one, and then let me see, where was I? Here. Yeah, okay. This one. So this is the wilderness of Moab. This one over here, the Moabite wilderness. Here's Edom. Here's the Moabite wilderness. And then how did we go? It says here, wait, let me get it again. It says in so we are playing from Elath and from Ezion-Geber. Geber, yeah. We turned and passed by the wilderness of Moab. So let me go back to over here, right? So it shows you that Elath is here. Elath is here. And here is the other side of the Red Sea. And then the other side of the Red Sea is on the left. Right, so Ezion-Geber. So here's the Red Sea. And then it says here, 2 Kings 14 and 22. He built Elath and restored it to Judah. After that, the king slept with his fathers. So what did he do? That king is talking about, wait, let me read this first. 2 Kings 16:6. At that time, Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elath to Syria, because we lost it, and drave the Jews from Elath. So he kicked us out. And the Syrians came to Elath and dwelled there unto this day. So we won wars and we lost them and stuff because we sinned. And then here you have the word Eloth, right? So here you have Elath, which is, let me read it again. Deuteronomy chapter 2 verse 8. And when we passed by from our brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, through the way of the plain of Elath. So there's a town, but there's a plain Elath, and it's near Seir, from Ezion-Geber, right here. Now, 1 King 9:26. And King Solomon made a navy of ships in Ezion-Geber, which is beside Elath, on the shore of the Red Sea, in the land of Edom. So Eloth is this here. So I typed in the word Eleth. It says here Hebrew 359. That's that word that says right there, Eleth, right? And then I looked up the other word, Eloth. So I typed that one in, and it says here Hebrew 359. So Elath 359 and Eloth 359, and then I clicked on it. Did I click on it here? 359? No, it's not that yet. 359, Hebrew 359, and then it says here Elath or Eloth, grove of lofty trees. Esau was worshiping there. Until this day, he worships in Bohemian Grove in California. He was worshiping there too. Satan. A port on the northeast arm of the Red Sea. So you have the west arm of the Red Sea, which I just showed you. Let me see here. Okay, this is the northeast side of the Red Sea, and this is the, what you call that thing again, man? Wow. This is the west. Left is west. West side, like Tupac, right? Tupac is left. West side. And then north is New York. You know, Wu-Tang. New York. I think Wu-Tang is New York, right? It's east side, right? Right. Yeah, Brooklyn. Yeah. Right. So, right. They're on the right side. The rep came from the right. So this is the West Red Sea, and this is the East Red Sea. This is the East, and everything comes from the East, by the way. So rap came also from the East Coast. These are the bitter lakes that Pharaoh Necho built, but how you call that stupid dude? Oh yeah, Ptolemy. He's the one that basically stole the records, or the credits, I should say. And then nowadays it's called Ptolemy. But the history knows, like, no, you didn't do it. You furthered it. You know, you digged it a little bit more and all that type of stuff. And yeah, this is the bitter lakes. The bitter lakes, right? Okay. So, so that's that part. So Eloth and Elath are the same thing, or the same place. So now I'm going to read this one where it says here, 2 Chronicles chapter 8, verse 17. Then went Solomon to Ezion-Geber and to Eloth, at the seaside in the land of Edom. So, at the seaside in the land of Edom. Now, where is that? That's, hey, what the? That's here. That's here. Because there's only one seaside in Edom, if you didn't know. Let me see. Here? I think then therefore... No, it's not here. It's here. There's only one side. There's only that one. This Esau is not near. Oh yeah, here's was the thing that I was looking for. This is the Valley of Salt. I wasn't even paying attention. Anyway, this is the Valley of Salt. This is the sea salt, the Salt Sea, or yeah, it's Salt Sea, and this is the Valley of Salt. Gomorrah and Zoar and Sodom. Zoar name was Bela first. Anyway, so this is the only sea that Edom has. This whole region. And remember, the giants were here. So they had a big portion of land. But the Edomites destroyed them eventually. Because Esau married into their children first, their daughters. Genesis 36 explains that to you. Shows that to you. And then later on he killed them. That's typical devil shit. But anyway, that's what they do. That's what they do. They've been doing that. But then it's the Lord that gave them to him. But because the Horites were wicked too, they were doing evil stuff. Leviticus chapters 18 and Leviticus chapter 20 shows you what they were doing. They were doing filthy stuff in that land, boy. And Esau took it over. Okay. So here is then that sea. That's the only one that is there. There's no other sea. Yeah, that I can see. Anyway, it says it here too. Here. Right. So then, Lord willing, then we know that that is then there. Just like how it is explained here. Then Solomon went to Ezion-Geber and to Elath, at the seaside in the land of Edom. And you had also a Judite king, which is, I think I put it here, no? Here, then here. 2 Chronicles 26 and 1. Then all the people of Judah took Uzziah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the room of his father, Amaziah. Okay. He built Elath and restored it to Judah. After that, the king slept with his fathers. So, they took that place, and then they gave it to Judah, and that is going to be in the kingdom too. The day of the south shall possess the land of Edom. It says it right here. And day of the south is talking about Judah. So, let me see right here. Where is it again? Oh yeah, Obadiah chapter 1. Obadiah chapter 1, I think 19. And day of the south, Judah, shall possess the mount of Esau. They're going to possess it. And, yeah. But we had power over their region in the time of here, King Solomon. So what did King Solomon have? He had power over Euphrates, this whole region over here, all the way until Elath, until Ezion-Geber. King Solomon had power over that. And he had it until here, the El Arish River. He had it until here. He had power until here. Right? And, okay. And they have the plain of the Philistines and okay, cool. So get this way. Let me see, what am I missing? Let me see if I covered everything right here. Okay, the land of Edom. So Elath is in the land of Edom. So we know that at the end of it, at the seaside of it, and it is explained that that is the northeast arm of the Red Sea. So you have the west arm of the Red Sea, and you have the north arm of the Red Sea, which is this one here. This is the east arm, which is the Gulf of Aqaba, and this is the west arm, which is the Gulf of the west arm of the Red Sea is the Gulf of Suez, and the east arm of the Red Sea is the Gulf of Aqaba, right? Okay, so that's that part. And then here, what am I looking at? Okay, it's let me go back to over here then. Actually, here then. No, here. Okay, so I just looked up the word Eloth or Elath, you know, Ayalawath, 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 Ayalawath. Okay. So now I'm gonna look up this word over here, which is Hebrews 600, and then 100. So Hebrew 6100, you could say. And then I look that one up. Hebrews 6100. Where is it again? Here. 6100. Ezion Geber, backbone of a man. The last station during the exodus of the Israelites before they came to the wilderness of Zin, located near Elath at the head of the Gulf of Aqaba. But they spell it different, you know. The Arabs say Aqaba. Esau would say Aqaba because, you know, he's an idiot. He wants to pronounce things according to his ways and all that there, which is exactly what they're doing. So I don't care. Anyway, so it says here the maritime city of Idumea, situated on the Atlantan what? Hey, just Atlantic, man. Atlantic, whatever. Gulf of the Red Sea. That's what it is. Where Solomon's fleet sailed to Ophir, called by the Greeks Benanis. See Josephus Antiquity of something like that. I don't know what this is. I don't want to know. In the time of Arab dominion. Okay, travels to Syria. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna go here, and I already covered this. But he's restored Elath to Judah, and then we lost it later on. We lost it, so it didn't stay with us for a long time. Okay, so now it says here, Uzziah regained control of Elath for Judah and rebuilt it, and he fought against the Arabs of Gur, because by that time, Esau wasn't really 100% there anymore, to a certain degree, and then the Arabs took that over. This is why the Arabs are in this region right now. The Arabs, they took it over because Esau later on left, and he started to go up way later. He started to go more, especially after the Greek times. He started to go more into Europe. And then from Europe to America, and of course from Europe to Australia and stuff like that. You know, so he started to do that, but that was later. Anyway, so here you had Uzziah, sorry, you already read that. And Uzziah attacked the Meunites, and likely sent some of them to be slaves at the temple. I read about them. I didn't really do research on them, so I don't know deeply who they are. I didn't look. I looked it up, but I didn't go deep, so I don't know. I don't know, but they mentioned in the scriptures, Meunites. I don't even know how you pronounce that word, Meunites. Meunites. It's spelled a different way than Meunite. I looked it up, but it's I think it's not even spelled like that. Let me see. Meunites are an ancient people group who likely lived somewhere south Judah. Maiwanayam. I don't actually know the verses where this is. Is this it? This is it. I think Ammonites. I think in the other translations. It's a word that I came across. I came across it, but you had to do some kind of magic trick or something to find out that word. That's why I didn't really look it up deep, but I looked it up. Yeah, okay. First Chronicles 20 and 1. That was it. Second Chronicles, sorry. Okay, so Second Chronicles 20 and 1. This one. Children of famine. I looked it up because in the other translations it is not there. But I looked at it. Let me see something. Second Chronicles. In the other translations you will see it. But here. After this, the Moabites and Ammonites and some of the Mutinites came to wage war against Jehoshaphat. So the other translation, it says, and it came to pass after this also that the children of Moab and the children of Ammon with them other beside the Ammonites. So I looked that word up here, and it says 20 and 1. Besides here, this word. That is sons of my relative or kindred. It probably families of the Ammonites. Let me see here. Ammon. Yeah, see, hands of the nation of Ammonites, who were descendant from him, who inhabited the land beyond Jordan. Jabbok. Okay. Yeah, oh, that's just Ammon. Let me see. Ammonitish. Because I think it's just Ammon. But like I said, I looked that word up and I saw it because I know you had to do some stupid magic tricks in order to produce this word. Because I looked at the Hebrew, I mean the King James, and I didn't see it. So I flew over it. But I don't really go into the other. I do it. I check the other translations from time to time, but I really don't do it unless the sentence is very weird. So I try to put all of them together and figure it out of myself. And also I go into the Hebrew and then I break it down piece for piece, you know. Word for word, but yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna leave this part. So let me go back to where I was. So yeah, the map. Where did I put that one? Oh, sorry, here. Right, this thing, whatever. And then, okay, he attacked them. And Uzziah fought against the Philistines and broke down the walls of Gath, Jabneh, and Ashdod. He built new towns in the Ashdod area and in other parts of Philistia. This is Philistia, by the way. This whole region over here. So until here, you know, they said Philistines, but this is Philistia. Nowadays, this is Gaza, Palestine. This is it here. Nowadays, this one. Right, nowadays in 2025. Anyway, Kadesh Barnea is still there. Standing strong. Every map is the same place, so yeah. The Gulf of Aqaba is here, and this is the Gulf of Suez. Okay, so now, where was I? This is then the wilderness of Moab. So we went in here, and then we started to kill Sihon and Og, which is above here. Then we did that. And let me see the route distance. Okay. So you can have it in your head that Asmon is here. So therefore, this was to be our border where Asmon stops. And it says compass Asmon, so you know, a big parsh of it. I don't know how big the parsh is, and this is not for salvation's sake anyway. This is just for the beauty of when you look at something, you understand what you're looking at. I like that. So you know, for this sake, Acts chapter 8, verse 30. And Philip ran thither to him, and heard him read the prophet Isaiah, and said, Understandest thou what thou readest? Understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, How can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him to explain stuff to him. So that would be dope. But who told Philip to go there? Well, verse 26, And the angel of the Lord spake unto Philip, saying, Arise, and go toward the south, unto the way that goeth down from Jerusalem unto Gaza, which is desert. Which this is the way to Shur, because you have a desert of Shur there. After Gaza. After Gaza. Very much down, actually. But yeah, you had a desert there too, so that's another story. Because I was thinking, after the water thing, there comes the desert of Shur, and then after that, the wilderness of Shur. But anyway, so going on. Now it says here, and this. Let me jump to here. Then the Spirit said unto Philip, Go near and join thyself to this chariot, where that man was, that Ethiopian man, but he was an Israelite being called an Ethiopian. He's an Israelite called a Cushite. You have to remember, in the midst of Cush, you will have Israelites. Isaiah 11:11, and it came to pass in that day that Yahweh shall shed his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Ashur, and from Mizraim, and from Patros, which is Egypt also. It's the same, but it's different regions in there. And from Cush, and from Elam, which are East Indians. You know, you have gypsies that come from there. They call themselves gypsy. Well, they call themselves Romani, actually. But a lot of them are, what do you call that thing again? Elam, they're just East Indians. But in the midst of them, you have Israelites. Don't forget that part. And from Shinar, which is the whole region of that whole land over there, Mesopotamia. And from Hamath, you have Israelites in the midst of them, Hamites over there. Above in Israel here, this one. You have Hamites here that live in the midst of Syria, of Aram. But they were Hamites. And you have Hamite, you have Israelites all over the place, man. You know, but anyway, these are just specific individual direct examples of the places where our people are going to be still until this day. And from the islands of the sea, Cyprus, Cadets, here, Cyprus, which is this one I want, actually, here. You have the islands here, which is Kittim. Japhet was here, Kittim. And if you read the scriptures, you will see like Kittim was doing business with the prince of Tyre. There goes the ships of Tarshish. It says it right here, actually. Isaiah 23:1. The burden of Tyre, which is Tyrus, which Canaanite were there. Howl, ye ships of Tarshish, cry. Because nowadays the modern day king of Tyre is Esau. He's the modern day trafficker, you know, from the world. He's in the seas and stuff like that. He's above the people, and he's above. He has the routes of the actual seas, right? The Tarshish, the ships of Tarshish nowadays are the ships of the Arabs, the Suez Canal, and also the ships of the Panama Canal. Esau got that too. He got the Chinese over there paying tolls. Man, they paying. Man, they paying. I'm telling you, they're making money over there. So the ships of Tarshish, back in the days, it was Japhet, and it's well, Tarshish is still Japhet, but they got replaced by Ishmael, and the ones over there in Panama Canal, you know, it's not really the Israelites controlling there, but you have a lot of Chinese, Japanese, and all these other nations. They bring their shipments in America over there too, but they steal it from South America. The Edomites, they steal it from South America, and then they go through the Panama Canal instead of circling around it, because it's, because what they don't want to do is waste money. So it's a strategic place that they can do their travelings, because let's say you have something, where can I put it? I don't know, here or something like that. I don't know. The point is, you don't want to go all the way here and then bring it here. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is just get here, doop, 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 and then you hear, instead of doop, 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 doop. Nah, you don't want to do that. You want to go through here, which is quicker. It's going to spend save a lot of money, not spend a lot of money, save a lot of money. And then you go through the waters. You're not going to go through land, because first and foremost, you got watch the movie Atlas Shrugged. Atlas. If you watch this movie, you're going to get stuff, man. Be like, whoa. And you know what the funny thing is? I only saw this movie 2 days ago. So that's doper than a Sakayola holder. It's actually very good that I saw that movie, because now I have a lot of explaining to do. I can explain stuff by making you watch a movie. Then I don't have to talk a lot. Right, because it's funny actually if you think about it. Atlas here, Shrugged trailer here. You have the 1, then you have the 2, and then you have the 3. 1, 2, 3, which is very good. This is more kind of prophetic type thing, but he's talking about the kingdom as if they're gonna, I don't want to tell you the story, but this is a movie that, you know, is a lot of explanations. Let's say a scene of 5 minutes, right? I'll just give 5 minutes. You can explain something and then repeat it, and then do the same 5 minutes and then explain another thing. And you ask yourself like, you might ask me like, how'd you get that? Well, this and this and this and this. Yeah. Okay, so this movie is very deep. It has layers. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It has layers of explaining things. You know, it has layers of explaining things, what's going on. And here is actually kind of kingdom type of things. And also what's going on in the modern day world, Esau, the destruction that he's bringing upon his own self, he's bringing upon his people, the shipments, the transportations and stuff like that, the traffic, Ezekiel 28. Also the breaking down of the traffic, the causing of the famine on purpose, the greed for money's sake, the fact that they have the means to feed every living individual person upon the planet Earth, right? And make them rich. Every single individual person on this planet Earth could actually be a rich person because of their money that they have, but they're not going to do that. And then, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And if they was actually making people rejoice, then we would be in trouble, because that would mean that we're not the Israelites. That would mean that they're the Israelites, and that's not the truth. So I'd rather suffer than be happy with these devils ruling. The fuck out of here, dude. If I was happy, I would be scared. Are they the Israelites? You know, so that's a good thing. I'm not thinking that, but you know, I'm just giving you an example of a fact. If you're happy, yeah, then according to you, they're the good guy. That's why a happy Negro, I hate happy Negroes. So yeah, it's a movie, and it's a lot of, you know, kind of silly stuff up in the movie, but you could take that and be like, yeah, you know, it's just a movie, so they got to put some stupid stuff up in there from time to time. But even that stupid stuff, like the love scenes and shit, dumb shit, you can even take that and be like, well, we're going to do that anyway, so in the kingdom. But right about now, ain't no goddamn love, bro. It doesn't exist. You're tricking yourself if you're actually trying to get some love. I mean, I'm not talking about pussy. That thing is all over the place. It's all over the place. All you have to do is just lie, which I don't want to do. So anyway, so watch that movie in order for you to be seeing certain things concerning the fucking greed of these people, how they screwing over each other. You know, Edomites screwing over each other because the wars is starting within them. It's beautiful to see, just like how the war started with the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. In the beginning, it was the kingdom of Judah versus the kingdom of Israel. Cool, cool, cool. And then later on, it started to become the kingdom of Israel versus the kingdom of Israel. Within, they started to fight. And Judah, later on, within Judah, they started to fight each other. So it wasn't kingdom of Judah versus kingdom of Israel anymore. It was now kingdom of Judah versus kingdom of Judah, and kingdom of Israel versus kingdom of Israel, and also kingdom of Israel versus Judah, and kingdom of Judah versus. They started just all out war, and you can read that in the book of First Ezra chapter. I don't think it's 2. I think it's 4. Maybe it's 4. Let me see something. I think it's 4. Yeah, here. No? No. No, it wasn't here. It was here. Yeah, it was here. First Ezra chapter 2, verse 17 on down. Actually, this verse I wanted. Let me see. Verse 27. And the men therein, the Israelites, were given to rebellion and war, and that mighty kings and fierce kings, of course, were in Jerusalem, who reigned and exacted tributes in Seleucia and Phoenice. That's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, here, sorry, 23. And that the Jews were rebellious and raised always wars therein. So we was fighting each other also, and also fighting other people. So our hands was against them, and our hands was against each other. Crazy. And raising always wars therein. For the which cause, for that reason, even this city was made desolate. Yeah, because a house, if Satan is against Satan, they can't stand. Because a lot of our people over there was worshiping devils. If you didn't know, we was worshiping devils. But not all of us, because it shows you right here. But still all of us fell. Habakkuk chapter, I think 1. Psalms 106 and 37. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. This is just one example. Ezekiel chapter 16. Ezekiel chapter 16 goes into other examples that we was worshiping. Fucking devil shit, bro. Anyway, Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 1. The burden of which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity? Well, because he was seeing a lot of shit. And caused me to behold grievance, because he was, it's sad to see people like that, looking at them like, damn, y'all fucked up, man. Y'all fucked up. You don't even want to be around them. That's how fucked up they are. For spoiling and violence are before me in the midst of Israel. These are Israelites. And they are that raise up strife and contention. All they want to do is just make trouble. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For wickedness can pass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. So, and that's all messed up. And Isaiah 5 and 7. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, the northern tribes, and the men of Judah his pleasant plan. The men of Judah were Judah and Benjamin. And you can catch that here. But actually Judah, it's actually talking, individually it's talking about Judah. But unto Judah, one tribe was added, which is 1 King 11 and 13. Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom from Solomon, his son, but will give one tribe to thy son, to Solomon his son, for David my servant's sake, just only because of your father Solomon, because you sinned against me. I will not rip the kingdom out of your individual hand. I will rip it out of your son Rehoboam. For David my servant's sake, David, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. Which was it? Huh? I will give you one tribe, and that tribe was Benjamin. Where is that? Okay, on First Kings chapter 12, verse 21. And when no, let me see. Yeah, and when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin. So in the next chapter, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin. So Judah and Benjamin were together because of the blessing that the Most High gave. You can say kind of blessing, You know, he didn't leave Judah alone. He had Benjamin with him. But Judah and Benjamin were called Jews, as you can see that with Paul. He called himself a Jew also, but he was from Benjamin, right? So let me see. Isaiah 5 and 7. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression. For righteousness, but behold, a cry. Yeah, man, people were sad because these wicked jakes were ruling. And people were being oppressed because these wicked jakes would want more money from you. You know, if you don't want to give them money, they're trying to beat you up. Micah 5 and no, Micah 3 actually. Micah 3 and 2. Who hate the good. These are the first one. Micah 3:1. And I said, here, I pray you, all heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment? Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones. And you can link this with Ezekiel chapter 37, where we have the valley of the dry bones. So if you speak this truth unto them, you're dressing them in clothing, and you're clothing them with flesh and with meat on their bones and stuff like that, and then with skin covering it with hair, eyes, and stuff like that. You give them this truth. But if you lie to them and say Jesus Christ and fucking I don't even want to say that shit, man. Fucking Caesar Borgia and bullshit, you know. If you say that, then hey, then you're plucking the skin from off of them, because he says Most High in Christ and stuff like that, you know. That's how you rip the clothing, the not even the clothing, shit, the skin, the flesh, and then they're naked, and then you gotta dress them with clothing. Put the armor of the Heavenly Father on them. Put the dressing on them, like the wedding dress, you know, the wedding clothing, the wedding garments, I should say. Sorry, the wedding garment, because symbolically we're women, but you're not gonna be, you know, with a dress on. Symbolically, you have a dress, you know, because we're symbolically women, and we're about to get married to the Lord Yahushua. So yeah. So Matthew 22 was that. You need to deck them in the beautiful wedding garments, and the other warrior types, which all of us are fighting actually, but still, I'm just making a difference on just the edification's sake. The warrior type ones, you have the armor of the Heavenly Father, which is Ephesians chapter 6:11 on down. So, but they're gonna have the wedding garment on also. So, I'm just making a quick difference, just to, you know, put something in your mind concerning. You're gonna have the warriors, and then you're gonna have the other the 1/3 that is not teachers, that is not going out there being on the battlefield and stuff like that. They're gonna have the wedding garments on because they're told, go and gather the fish. Go and gather those are the warriors. Those are the ones that have the armor on with the sword. They got the scriptures, you understand, that they go out and then they teach the children of Israel, come on in. You know, the Lord's coming. And then they put the beautiful garment on, the wedding garment, you know? And then you got the shielded buckler, and they got the shielded buckler too. But why? Because they need to defend against the wicked ones when they come with their lying snake doctrine. And then you also teach them how to defend themselves, you know. But you bid them to the marriage, you bid them to the supper, so they have their wedding garment on, and you know, so it's intertwinable. You know, they got the wedding garment on, but they got the armor on also to protect themselves, because you give them the word, you know, that you got from the Lord, and all that there. Anyway, so yeah, they ripped the flesh from off of their skin. Isaiah chapter 37. And the Most High is going to rip their soul out of their bodies once that time comes. So, yeah, let me see. So that's that part. So let me go on. I think I'm almost done. I already read this. So, yeah, I already read this. These are the places that you have there concerning the waters of Sihor. And then you have the Nile, which is intertwinable with each other in the scriptures and stuff like that. But if you dig deeper, you will have a difference. Differentiate? Damn, can't think. You will have a difference concerning those two things, because here you had the crops and all that there that they had, and they was planting stuff there too. And not that they was not planting here in the river now, but this was a traffic, you know. So let me see here. Yeah, so yeah, this is the wadi, the brook of Egypt. Is literally hundreds of I don't know, man. It's like hundreds of some shit like that, man. I don't even know. Look. There's some man, some old caucus legs, shit, some old caucus ass legs, man. With the arteries and all that type of stuff, right? Look like it. Going on, Palestine. The modern border of Palestine is here. And they tell you according to their. Wait, let me read this first. I already read this actually. I think. Zered. I already read that. The brook of Zered. Yeah. Moab. We went into the wilderness. Yes. Wadi. The meaning of the word wadi, or the valley, ravine. Already read this. Oh yeah. I think I was reading this. The burden of Tyre, how, ye ships of Tarshish, for it is laid waste. So the Tarshish people are going to cry because the modern day, well, let me say it better. Let me say it what it says. The people of Tarshish, the Japhetic people, they was crying because they couldn't do business anymore with the ancient Canaanite king. Right? So for it is laid waste. What is laid waste? Tyres. And their Tarshish can't do business no more. Same thing with America in the book of Revelation, when it says that the merchant cities, the merchant people of the world shall cry for America's sake, for Babylon's sake, because they can't make no more money. No more money, man. So no more income, no more status, no more doing good, right? So that there is no house, no entering in from the land of Kittim. It is revealed to them. Kittim is also Kittim is also Japhet. Tarshish and Kittim is Japhet. And they had the ships. This is Cyprus, by the way. And then you had the ships of Tarshish, which were a navy type people, and they was hanging around with the Canaanites, making money, you know. Nowadays they're still doing the same thing, but it's switched up to Ishmael, and Moab, and Ammon, and yeah, those people have all the all the ships coming in, right? Esau got the planes, Esau got the ships. Ain't no real Hamites got stuff, man. Hamites don't really got stuff. Esau got stuff along with Ishmael and Moab and Ammon. Those are the top enemies of the nation of Israel, because they got the money, and with the money you oppress people. Yeah, them Hamites ain't really doing work, man. They just liars. You know, they're lying along, but believe me, they don't like Esau. I'll tell you that. I talk to them. They them Hamites, man. They ain't no Israelites. I talk to some of them, and they don't like Esau. They live in here because they need the money, but they hate these motherfuckers. They say, hey, these people, they broke into our country and took all our stuff. Huh? You think I'm here because I want to? Huh? The Hamites, man. Most are gonna let them lose though. Is Sihor the Nile? Is Sihor the Nile the same? Sihor or Sihor. At least 3 views have been held regarding Sihor. Usually Sihor in King James Version. It refers to the Nile. That's one. Second, it refers to a stream that separates Egypt from Palestine. That's the one. The third, it refers to a canal with water drawn from the Nile on the border between Egypt and Palestine. I don't know about this one, but I can't see the place where they draw it from. But I know that they used to do stuff like that. But I know that number 2 and number 3 are more likely. But the thing is, this one is also connected to it on the other level because of the book of Isaiah chapter 23. But they're not the same. So, First Chronicles chapter 13 verse. So David gathered all Israel together from Sihor of Egypt, even unto the entering of Hamath, to bring the ark of the Heavenly Father to Kirjath Jearim. Anyway, so basically from the south to the north, he gathered all the Israelites together to go to, I think it was the city of him, the city of David. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm almost done, and yeah, that's one of the reasons, but that's the main reason why they destroy the land like that so much here. They destroy the land, you know, they make everything into a desert. And also the branches that you see are satellites. I mean, the branches of water, these are satellite photos. They have these things, you know. They have the fancy technology, and some of these waters, they only fill in the rain season, and some of them are on the ground. Esau has that thing, the technology to spot it. Right. So here's the proof that they used to dig wells. They add wells, but they linked it from the Euphrates. Sorry, not the Euphrates. Sorry, the Nile. They linked it from the Nile. Right. So that's the proof with that. And the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal was actually built in 1850 BC, and then until like 775 AD. This is for an atheist devil. This is written by an atheist devil with BC, E, and NCE, which means common error and before common error. That means that these people that wrote this don't believe in the Heavenly Father, or that the Heavenly Father, his son Yahushua, that he will come back, because they don't subscribe themselves to before Yahushua and in the year of the Lord Yahushua, which is BC, and the other one is AD, right? Yeah, but they was busy with that a long time ago. But in 1800, nowadays 1800 AD, 1858 AD, Paris, France. That's when they started the company to make the Suez Canal, and to make this. That's when they started that on 2 January 2022. So yeah, 6 billion US in a year, the highest. Why do you think they had to? Let me color it. Why you think they had the money like that? I mean, the highest in the canal's history. Why you think? Huh? Should I tell you, or do you already know how it comes that in that specific year that they had the most? Here, I'll show you something. What a bullshit, bro. First trillionaire. What a joke, you know. Made a trillion. Made a trillion. Here. It says here, led by Elon Musk's crazy gains, American billionaires have added nearly 2 trillion to their fortune during the pandemic. I don't need to read more. I don't need to read more unless you want me to, but I don't need to read more. And it says here, the spoils are concentrated at the top. Just 20 people account for more than half of their billionaire gains. So 20 people made almost 1.8 trillion. They got richer, 1.8 trillion, and collectively today they're worth nearly 5.3 trillion. It takes 114 to 115 years to spend 1 trillion. I used to say 41111 until the software actually corrected me. It was the software that did that, because all the other websites where I read it from said 411 years. But the software, he said, no, it's actually 114 years. I asked it by accident. I'm not even into the chat GTP. I don't even know how to pronounce that shit. That GTP nonsense. I'm not into that. I'm not doing it. You know. But the thing, I don't know. It picked up on my question, because I don't know. Maybe they saw that I asked it often into Google, and then the computer came, the software, and then it told me like, no, you're wrong. It's actually this way. Let me show you something. Right. So this is how I found out. Now it says here, if you have $1 trillion and spend 1 million an hour. If you have $1 trillion, the AI answered it. Normally, I don't know. Normally it didn't do that, but this time it did it, and it did it on what, 16 January or something like that. Anyway, if you have $1 trillion and spend $1 million per hour, your money would last for approximately 1,000 hours, 1 million hours, which, when converted to years, is roughly 114 years. All the other websites said 411. That's why I always said 411. I just read it, and yeah, I'm sorry. I should have checked it out, but I corrected it a few weeks ago. I think maybe a month ago or two, something like that. I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, man. So anyway, yeah, so that's it. So it says here divided by whatever hours and year, which is roughly 114 years, 114 to 115 years, something like that. That's how much it take. Well, let me say it again. If you have $1 trillion and spend $1 million per hour, your money would last for approximately 1 million hours, which, when converted to years, is roughly 114 years. So if you want to spend $1 trillion and you spend 1 million an hour, 24/7, 365 days a year, 24/7, every hour of the whole year, which is 8,760 hours in 1 year. After 114 years, you would still not be done. A little bit more than 114 years, then you would be done spending just 1 trillion. So now, do you think that these Edomites cannot fill the whole world with just normal stuff, pay you more? Did you know that every day that you work, you get like average salary is 100 euros? Every 8 hours that you work. Here. Minimum wages. Let me see. In the Netherlands, this minimum wage is like 15 euros. I was looking at it. It's actually 15 sometimes. I don't know how old you are here. Oh, 21. Here, sometimes it says 15 euros or something like that. Oh, okay, less than 12 hours a week. Okay. Anyway, let's take this amount and then, work for 8 hours a day, which is 15 times 15 times 8. This is what you get in 1 day. $120 a day. This is shit. If you think about it, with the expensiveness, even if it wasn't expensive, food and stuff like that, even if that was not the case, this is still kind of dog shit compared to the money that's in the world. You got dudes chasing a freaking ball. You got dudes chasing a freaking ball. Yeah? You got guys chasing a fucking ball, man. A ball. And this is the money that they get paid for. They're just running after a ball. Chasing a ball. The same thing with basketball. Same thing with baseball. Just all these stupid, how you call that thing? Buffoonery. That's what it is. I had another word actually. Bread and circus. But yeah, anyway, let me leave that. So this is the thing that they're doing. It's only 20 people have that get paid. All his workers didn't they didn't get shit. ah, they didn't get shit, you know. But hey, that's what it is, man. They in their world right now, man. I'm not even tripping on that. I'm just showing you that they can actually help people. I don't want their help, by the way. Don't get it twisted. I say things. I don't want their help, because because we're gonna be the ones that gonna do that. Deuteronomy 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. They're gonna be happy when we rule. But when the wicked bear it rule, the people mourn. You're supposed to mourn because they're the wicked. You know, you're supposed to want that too, because if it's the other way around, then it's something is not good. You know, do you want to suffer? No, nobody wants to suffer. But do you want to be happy? And then, you know, basically on a soul type, a selling type tip, you know, you're happy for a little small. The hell no, man. A lot of people do want that. They want to be happy for a small season. They don't care. They're thinking about that YOLO life. I don't want that YOLO life, man. I don't want that. I want in the end. I want everything in the end. You know, the one who laughs last, laugh the best. I don't want to laugh now. If I laugh now, I'm gonna be fucked up later on. You know, so I don't want that. Anyway, I already read that. Let me see here. I'm almost done. Euphrates. That's that word. I did it again. This is the same thing here. Anyway, we have from. Let me read it again. 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 24. For he had dominion. King Solomon had dominion over all the region on this side the river, from Tipsah or Tifsa, even to Gaza, as you can see here. It says right here. Gaza is where the Philistines were. He had all of that, and then later and further on to the brook of Sihor, the brook of Egypt. Sorry, it says here over all the kings on this side the river, and he had peace on all sides round about him. And David also had from this region over here all the way to the river Euphrates, because he wanted that. And that's his. And Psalms 105:23, Israel also came into Mizraim, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. The land of Ham. The land of the tabernacles of Ham, which are his which is his bloodline. You know. The tents of Ham. It's the same thing. What is this? Okay, cool. So yeah, there you have it. The explanation of this one. Sorry, of this here. That the satellite pictures of the brook of Sihor. The brook of Egypt, sorry. Shihor, the brook of Egypt. Which is a vast, it's almost, I don't know, it's like a branch or something like that. You know, looking like veins. And that is the border. But like I said, in certain places you have different conflicting type of information, which actually goes really against each other. But then the smaller ones that talk, the rest is bigger talk. You know, it's louder, I should say. But the smaller ones are they speak doper, but you need to really put your ear there to listen to them. You know, but anyway, you have their crops over here. I don't know what crops, but like I said, I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself, and then maybe you can read further and stuff like that. So you can do that if you have the time. And yeah, the dam, El Rawa Fa'adam. Let me see what that brings up. El Rawa Fa'adam. El Rawa Fa'adam. Oh, is it dam? In Sinai Peninsula. Okay. Peninsula. Damn. Can't even pronounce that shit. Okay. In the peninsula. Let me see here. Egypt's Sinai desert cries. So they have underwater things. They have underwater reservoirs, artificial lake, water trap. What is this? Another dam. Floodings. Water flow over. I don't want that one. I want this one. So there's a lot of water over here. There's a lot of waters over here that they obviously control from time to time, and obviously they don't, because I just saw it here flooding. They don't. They I think they're trying. I think they're trying to control over there. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. I don't know. I'm not there. I can't really check it. Sinai dams retain 6 million cubic meters of rainwater in October. That's a lot of water. This is what they have here. 2 million that enter in dams. 87 million things. So they have a lot of dams over there. There's a lot of water over there. A lot of water. Maybe dam in Sinai. Oh, let me see this one. You got the Gaza Strip, yeah, and North Sinai, all right there. Anyway, I think I'm done. There's another branch of that water thing. There's a lot of ravines over there, a lot of water over there, a lot of underground facilities type of things and stuff like that. And there's also a lot of Baredam. You know, that land just looks messed up, but there's a lot of water there too. And I believe that in the kingdom that this is going to turn into a fountain, like how it was back in the days. Because all these things that you see here, water was here. Water was here, shaping the land like this. Sinai Peninsula. Water was here. I just saw the word flow. Bringing water to the Sinai. Boston University. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna just leave it at this. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.